Rapier. Thanks, Antholo. G-Baby. Thanks. Can we swing?
This is Catarina. I'm a program manager on Xbox Live. Today we have Tara with us and
Hello.
Jen. I'll
Hi.
let them introduce themselves.
Tara, you want to go first?
Yeah. So I'm Tara Theoharis, and I manage events for Xbox.
I'm Jenn McCoy. I lead marketing for Mixer.
And so welcome everyone to our monthly Women in Gaming show. This is, I've lost count already. It's like our 9th episode, I think. But is it 8th? It's 8th. So you kind of know, or I hope you know what to expect here. But basically we usually start by, we have our hosts, we have our guests, and we start by talking a little bit about what we're currently playing, what some of the games we're playing. Then we move on to the next section, which is the currently playing. No, that's the section I was describing. Okay, currently playing, then we move on and usually we chat with our guest and play a game. Today, I believe you picked Assassin's Creed
Odyssey, yes.
Yep. So that will be fun. We'll play a little bit of that. And then by the end of the show, we usually have our one-ups and game overs section where we talk about awesome things that are happening in the gaming industry and not so good things. So we chat a little about that. And then we have our snaps section where we usually give shout outs to people who are doing amazing things in our industry. So thank you so much for tuning in to the episode today. The next episode will be on Wednesday, March 13th. And so, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So here we go. So for the currently playing, who wants to go first?
I can talk a little bit about that.
Sure, go ahead.
So I had the pleasure of being on Women in Gaming last month. We
Yes.
talked a little bit about how I was about to go stream Life is Strange 2, Episode 2. And I was nervous because Life is Strange has a history of being extremely sad. Like, they try to make people cry. The team
And they
feeds off of our
succeed.
tears. And they succeed. I had every right to be concerned.
There were tears.
Yeah, the second episode, there's an adorable puppy. And you only introduce an adorable puppy if you're trying to make people cry, if something bad might happen to that puppy.
This is like Fable all over again.
Yeah, and let's just say there might be some bad stuff that happens to the puppy.
Aw.
Guys.
But yeah, so episode 2 was beautiful. It continued to further the story. I am really excited to see where it continues to go. Like most Life is Strange properties, the characters are starting to convey some superpowers of some sort, and you really get to play around with that in the second episode. But there's also a lot of sad stuff. So
Yeah, I have yet to, I played the first 5 minutes of episode 2. I have yet to play all the episodes, so
yeah.
I appreciate the no spoilers, but now I fear for
You'll
the
know
puppy.
when you see the puppy. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
We had a warning during the stream being like, don't do this thing. It might have something bad might happen.
Oh,
and
God.
we tried to avoid it. And it might not be avoidable.
Yeah.
So that's the content warning for people for Life is Strange.
There you go.
If you love dogs a little too much.
What
Skip that
about
one.
you, Jen? What are you playing?
I'm playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey, actually. It's funny. Major Nelson actually recommended that I check it out. I've always been a big Assassin's Creed fan, but I hadn't played the latest one. and I'm now 110 hours in. I just
Wow.
finished the main campaign on Monday, I guess, which is
congrats.
super exciting. Yeah, so finally through the main story. Now I'm achievement hunting. So I've got, I don't know, maybe 6 or 8 achievements in the main game I need to get. And then, of course, there's all the DLC, which I might take a break and then go back and take on the DLC. But it's great. I got to tell you, Ubisoft has done such a great job. It is such a fun world to explore. So many like interesting stories, great hero characters. Really loving
So
it.
for someone who has only played the first game and half of the second one, should I just go and pick this one up?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Like this actually I think is the best Assassin's Creed I have played.
Wow.
So
Yeah,
what
I've heard a
makes
lot.
it the best? What does this one have that you love so much more?
The crazy part is it's really like 4 games in one. Like you kind of start off and it feels sort of like a normal Assassin's game. You're exploring the world, you're opening up different travel points and the story and meeting different NPCs. And then you get to like level, I don't know, maybe 25, and all of a sudden a whole nother area of the game opens up, and you're like, wow, I didn't even know that was there. And then that happens 3 or 4 times. And
Oh my
so there
gosh.
just is more and more and more layers of the game to experience, which is awesome if you're like me and you love a game that you just want to go delve into for hundreds of hours. Not good if you want like a little quick play 30 minutes at a time. This is not that game.
Right.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah, how
as-
about you? What are you
yeah,
playing?
as for me, I'm still playing Kingdom Hearts 3 as I was in the last episode. So I will not repeat everything I've said about Kingdom Hearts because I've said a lot. I'm a huge fangirl of the franchise and it just means so much to me. But now that I'm more ahead in the game, it's actually like the game is just really good. It's so much fun. The combat and everything they add, like it's great. Every single keyblade you end up using just brings like something new and completely different to the gameplay, which is just it always keeps it fresh. Visiting all the new Disney worlds, of course, it's great. So I just got done with the Toy Story one and the Tangled one, which was
I was going to ask, which is your favorite so far?
Yeah.
I would say Toy Story was a lot of fun.
Okay. Woody.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been a lot of fun to play, and I guess I'll be playing that for I don't know the past 2 or 3 months because I've been able to play like 1 hour per week.
Yep.
So we'll see.
Just play it forever. There will
yeah.
always be something new
I
for
mean,
you.
Yeah, seriously.
It's great because like at least I'll remember the game like properly, just because it will take me so much time to go through it.
And hopefully a lot of fun along the way.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I think we could get started in playing our Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jen, I'd love to ask you, how did you end up where you are? What's your life story? How did you get here?
Oh, that's a big question.
That's a big question.
As far as gaming is concerned,
Yeah.
what's your
As far as
life
gaming,
story?
Exactly.
It's funny. I really started getting into gaming when we launched Xbox 360 back in, I don't even know, was that like 2006, maybe 2007, something like that. I waited in line 12 hours at Best Buy to get like one of the very first ones. Which was so fun. Like just the whole crowd coming together, super excited about Xbox. I didn't know that much about gaming, but I really wanted to get into it. So I said, okay, this is my chance. And then, ironically, it's the achievements that got me hooked, right? I played Cameo and I like went in search of all the collectibles because I wanted to get the achievements. And it just turned out that I was thinking a lot about gaming in my personal life. And so I thought, hey, I work at a company that owns Xbox. Maybe I should try to go do something like that for my real work life as well. So I managed to get a job on the Xbox team, and I worked on Xbox marketing for several years, maybe 8 years, something like that.
Wow.
And then about 2 years ago, we acquired a company called Beam, which eventually, as you guys know, became Mixer. And so I've been leading marketing for that for the past 2 years.
Where we are right now.
Yes. And it has been so much fun. Like just getting to meet all the content creators and such an amazing community. I love that everybody's very welcoming and supportive. And anytime you see somebody new on Mixer, everybody's like, hey, welcome. Here's some tips or tricks or things you should try. And it's just a very privileged to be a part of this. Very lucky.
What are some of your favorite things about working on Mixer? I mean, you just mentioned one, but like, what's your favorite project so far?
That you're allowed to talk about.
Yeah, that I can tell you some.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Actually, the part I love the most, and Tara, you know this as well as I do, the events where we actually get to go out and just talk to everybody in person and meet people that you've only known the screen name of, or you've seen them stream, but you haven't actually met them in person. And there's just nothing like the excitement and the energy and the personal connection that you get from the events. And we've been fortunate to go to all the PAX events here in the U.S. Went down to Brazil Game Show earlier, I guess late last year. And we've got some more fun events coming up this year. Can't say everything.
Can we have
yet,
spoilers? No.
we will certainly be at PAX East coming up in end of March, and then we've got really big plans for E3. So stay tuned for that. E3 is going to be a lot of fun.
Yep.
It always is.
Yes, it always is.
Yeah.
So you did mention that you worked at Xbox marketing before. So from that time, like, how was your experience? What are some things that you worked on that you can talk about? And how was that experience too?
Yeah. So I started actually working on Xbox Live, our marketplace. So some of y'all remember back when we first launched what we called Games on Demand. It was the ability for you to download a game, without having to go to the store and buy the physical disc. And at the time, it was crazy. Everybody was like, you can't buy digital games. Like, I want the disc. I want to be able to, have the physical copy. And now I think it's so fun because that's kind of how we all just experience games today, right? It is a very digital experience. But at the time, it was radical.
Right.
And then I worked on our first-party games, what we called our publishing business. And probably the most fun there was actually working with Insomniac Games when they did Sunset Overdrive.
Oh, that was a fun game.
It was, and they are just such an amazing studio. Ted Price and his whole team just really, this sounds funny, but like genuinely good people and incredible talent, creativity. That was probably the best game marketing experience I ever had.
That's cool. Should we?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I tell you all about Assassin's Creed?
Yeah. Are we?
Oh my
are we
gosh,
like in the beginning of the game or?
No. So this is actually my gameplay. So we are we finished the campaign. We are achievement hunting. So this is Cassandra, my character. You can see all of her legendary weaponry and armor that she has. So she's dressed as a Amazon warrior right now. Yeah, and we are actually in, let's see, what island are we in? This is the world map. So we are in...
That looks big.
Actually, how do I say this? Uobia.
Obia?
Obia. Yeah, that probably is right. Obia. And we are on a mission to help a farmer who I think is having tax issues.
Yep. Oh, wow.
How's that? But you guys will see, like, it is just such a beautiful world. There's so much, like, to explore, really. I'll show you. I was telling Tara a little earlier, one of the things that's super fun, I will call my horse. Well, I'm going to call my horse. So that was just a normal horse.
You have one horse?
I have.
special.
No. This
Wow.
is my horse.
Okay.
My Abraxos, my fiery steed.
That's... Wow.
I worked hard.
So what type of material does a saddle need to be made of
I don't
to
know.
not burn you?
Fire retardant something, that is for sure.
But yeah, for some reason, I think I just missed the memo that I could essentially play Wonder Woman in Assassin's Creed, and
totally true.
I know what I'm doing as soon as I get home today.
It has been really fun.
Who are some of your like favorite women characters in games? I mean, she looks great.
Yeah, she's great.
Amazing. Oh
You
my
know,
gosh, the lighting in this, like the sun coming.
yeah, it is.
No.
It's an amazing. And playing this in 4K, I got to tell you, is it is like playing a movie. It really
Wow.
is. So favorite female character, you guys will laugh, but when I played Mass Effect, I didn't realize that Commander Shepard could be a man because I always played Commander
yeah.
Shepard as a female, right? And then one day I think I saw like a trailer. It might have been a trailer for
male
Mass Effect 2. And I was like, who is that?
Like, this is not the game I
just
played.
never had seen him before. And I thought that was one, it tells you Bioware did a great job of really giving you options and getting you to customize your experience with Mass Effect. But that was my favorite female character.
And here you can pick both too, right?
Yes, exactly. You can play as Cassandra or her brother Alexios. And so if you play, I haven't played as him, but that's my assumption. If you play as him, then you meet Cassandra just as the other main
Oh,
character.
okay.
So have you met?
Yes. Okay. So I met Alexios. We fought, typical brother-sister rivalry. He didn't kill me. I didn't kill him, so I consider that a win.
That's love.
Good outcome.
Sibling love.
Does the story change in any way or no?
Change like if you're
Like
the.
if you're, if you,
I think the main thing, actually, I'm gonna leave Abraxas here and go wandering. But I think the main thing is just the switching of places. I think there are commonalities to the experiences, whether you play as Cassandra or Alexios.
yeah.
But yeah, so you go, like the Greek islands are beautiful. You get to travel on your ship from island to island. There's a lot of variety in the quest, so just a lot of different things to do.
Yeah.
You guys can tell I'm a big fan. Like I've really, really enjoyed it.
I mean, it looks gorgeous.
staring at-
and
yeah, it's
yes,
so
you're kind
beautiful.
of making me just want to go home and play it.
A lot of collectibles, so you can craft and upgrade things. Let's see. So where do we go? We will.
So, what have been some of your favorite missions that they've put you through?
There is, I'll show you guys actually. So I mentioned like you open up different areas of the game. One of the things you opened up, I think probably around like level 13 or 16, is this the cult. What is it? Cult of Cosmos, I think is what they call it. But so each of these people that now are, I have killed them.
Yep.
Sorry.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why they're all blacked out. But
That's a lot of
started
people.
with
Just saying.
all of
Yeah,
these
that is a
cultists
lot of people.
that were scattered throughout the world, and you had to like uncover clues, find out who they are, go challenge them, and eventually you do either kill them or convince them to leave the cult, and then you
And you killed them all.
Yeah,
To
and
be clear.
yeah.
so your convincing skills not so good, but your
No,
sword.
actually, that's not true because my brother was one of them, and I convinced him to leave the cult, so he's
Okay.
still alive.
Okay. There's one. Out of
Good.
like the 30 people here, there's one who survived.
So don't cross
Brutal.
Jen.
Yep.
But it was really interesting, like, because every single cultist has a different story, different things you have to do to uncover who they are. It's a great way to get you to explore the world. So
Yeah, that's
it's
really
good.
neat.
So you've been in the gaming industry for many years now.
Yeah, about
Um,
10 or 12, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, we usually get a lot of questions in the chat and on our social media. By the way, if you guys want to ask questions in the chat, feel free. We'll be sure to address them here. You also
just-
have cool emoticons.
Yeah, I was like, give us your cool
Oh,
email.
yeah.
So, what are some advices that you have for people, and especially girls and women who want to have a career in the gaming industry? And we've discussed here that that can take many forms and it can look very differently for everyone because it's a big industry with
Yeah.
many, many roles, many skills needed. But what are some advices or tips that you would give to people?
I'll say the thing that has been most fun for me is actually just that my passion for gaming, like the fact that I love to play and legitimately this is what I do when it's my free time, it really shows through. And I would say particularly when I've worked with game developers, like they appreciate that and they really value the authenticity and the fact that you share their passion.
Yeah.
And I remember actually the very first Xbox Fan Fest I ever went to. I was, just walking up and down the line, chatting with folks who were camping out overnight to be able to attend the Xbox E3 briefing.
Something
which,
they already got tickets for.
yeah, which was so cool. Like, just our fans are amazing. And one of the guys who was in line, he was like, "Hey, Jen, tell me, are you really a gamer or are you just the marketer?" And I remember, when he asked that, I was like,
get that.
well, let me show you my gamer score.
Yeah.
So I pull out my little Xbox app on my phone and I show him, and he's like, "Okay, yeah, you're legit." And I realized that I think I probably got a little bit more credit for that because it was someone that he was not expecting to be a gamer.
Yep.
Actually, I got to hide here so I don't get attacked. But then when he realized that actually was something I really cared about, it was such a great bond with that fan, and I think the same thing holds through in the
Yeah.
industry itself, that people love to share their passion.
Yeah, obviously. I think there's two things there. It's like one, it's awesome to see, or like, it's great to see that people who have been here for a while and gaming is really their passion. And I think it's all of us.
Yeah.
It's really great, and I think it shines through. And every time you're trying to get a job in the gaming industry, if you do have that passion, I think that really helps. But another thing that I've been trying to explore more is how can we actually make the gaming industry, because it's so challenging and can be so rewarding, more welcoming to people who might actually not be huge
Yeah.
gamers like us. And so it's been really interesting to just think, how can we make that change in the industry so it can be more open to other people?
Yeah.
It's
great
I mean, I don't have a solution. I'm just sometimes I just stretch myself of like thinking, hey, this person might not have played many games, but maybe they actually haven't been exposed to many games in their life, so they haven't had the opportunity to play many games. How can we, one, show them how awesome gaming is, because it is, and so you all should play many, many games. But like how the gaming industry is still interesting for you to make a career out of, even if you're, I mean, I think you must have some kind of interest in the subject that you'll be working on. But I think it's also really cool to see other people who typically wouldn't be as welcome here to be welcome here.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the women I work with on Xbox, actually on Sunset Overdrive way back when, she came from, I think she worked at Nike. So she did marketing at Nike. Gaming was not actually her thing.
Yeah.
But she was an incredible marketer. And she really, just understood the product, understood the customers, and really thought about, what can we do to delight our customers?
Exactly.
And it was great getting her perspective, because she wasn't coming from it of, hey, I've played all these games for 12 years, but she was coming from it of what do our customers love? How do we connect with them in a different way? And what we talked about is you don't have to be a gamer. You don't have to do that day in and day out, but you do have to get excited about the industry.
Yep.
And it has to be something where, you're following what's happening on Twitter, or you're on Reddit because you're interested and you care and you want to chat with people. It doesn't have to be your life, but it has to be something you care about. Because otherwise, there's so many people who want to be a part of gaming that it would be a shame to do this if it felt like work.
Yeah, but it's also like diverse. I think when we talk about diversity, that's exactly the point. Like you should have a team who have like super different experiences. When someone comes from a background of like, I've played games all my life, and there are other people who may have not played as many games, but that will actually bring a perspective. And I can imagine in marketing, I'm not a marketer, so now I'm getting outside of my comfort zone, but I can imagine that in marketing, we do want to capture new users and people who have typically not tried to be part of gaming. And so having that perspective in the room while you're talking about like, how can we capture these users might like be super valuable, I think.
Yeah. And I think a big part of it is the diversity of the types of gamers as well, because I feel oftentimes I'll go in, I mean, I game a lot more than most of my friends and other people I know, but I feel, like that fake geek girl or like a casual gamer when I talk to a lot of people, because I don't do a lot of online games or games where you put in hundreds of hours. I do a lot of narrative-based games, and there are a lot of people who only play mobile games, which is a huge part of our industry and a growing part of our industry. So, I think overall changing the conversation of what constitutes a gamer and what it means to enjoy gaming will encourage other people to come in with different points of view as well.
And isn't it great that I love that nowadays we have such a broad type of games that people can just enjoy and play.
There's something for everyone.
Yeah, that's the thing. I did have this conversation with my mom the other day where I was like, Mom, do you consider yourself a gamer? And she was like, absolutely not. Like me and my mom, we grew up like fighting because I was spending way too much time playing Gears of War. Way too much time. So she was.
And look what it did for you.
I know.
It worked out pretty well.
That's what I throw in her
I have a
face
whole
right
career.
now. Right? Yeah, they never believed that I would do this, but I've made it, and now, I mean, they're super proud of, obviously, but like it's been a very interesting storyline there. But so I did ask her, Mom, do you consider yourself a gamer? And she was like, absolutely not. Like a gamer is someone who does what you do, which is like play until 6 a.m. every day when you're growing up and shout up really bad things at your mic when you're playing online and you're really angry.
Sometimes you have
You're
to
an
do
angry
that.
teenager. No, I did not do that. Not me. Anyways, so I was like, but you do play everyday games on your phone, because I know she does. And she's like, yeah, but that's not the same. And I'm like, well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
You're playing games every day. You're totally a gamer. And so we just had that chat, and it was so interesting to think of, like, literally there's 2 billion gamers in the world, which is like huge, a huge number. And so it's been really interesting how I convinced her that she is a gamer and she belongs in like my scope of people who I consider gamers. And I love that our industry is just moving towards like being super broad and inclusive of everyone.
Absolutely.
There's something out there for everyone.
Yeah.
Because even myself, like as you said, there are these people who play only online games and they're super hardcore and they want to be the best. There are people who just like really care about achievements and that's
yeah,
their
people
thing.
play for all different
Yeah.
reasons. You can play the same game and have a very different experience.
Yeah. And I, at first, when I first started working and in my career, I obviously had less time to play online and just be really good at a game.
Yeah.
And so I started moving more towards when I got home and I was tired. I just moved towards playing a lot of narrative games, which
Yeah.
I absolutely love. Because they're relaxing and that's like
Exactly.
low effort, low, like you don't need to actually be actively like looking for who is trying to kill me.
Yep.
Or if you're Cassandra, who you should kill.
Yeah, exactly. So
There's no one left. I've killed them all. What do I do?
and so I mean it's been so now I'm like a mixed gamer of like there are times in my life where I'm just like I really want to be the best at this game and I'm
Yeah.
gonna online.
Yeah.
But like most of the time nowadays I just play very relaxing narrative driven games that I can pick up and then pick up again next week and just because that's all I can handle.
Yeah.
And that's fine. And I didn't think it was fine, but now I'm
It's
accepting
totally fine.
it's fine.
Totally fine. So question for you,
Yeah.
as we're talking about, how people can get into the games industry and new industries that are popping up, streaming is a huge thing, as you are very aware.
Yes.
What tips would you have for people who are watching, who are interested in getting started on Mixer, ultimately, becoming a partner, making this into a career?
Yeah. Well, so I should caveat, I do not stream a ton myself. So actually, our Mixer partners are the best people to ask that. 'Cause they're the ones that are much more entertaining and capable than I am. But a couple of things that we really care about at Mixer. One is just we want to make it as easy as possible for anybody to get started. So we, added Mixer broadcast technology into Xbox One, into Windows 10. We have a free Mixer Create app on iOS and Android. And the whole point there is to let you start streaming your gameplay. Whether you want to build out an audience or if you just want to be able to show your friends what you're playing. But we wanted to make it super easy. So a couple of clicks, no extra hardware or software needed. You can just jump right in and try it. And then, if you find, hey, this is something I like and I want to start taking it to the next level, there are other things you can do. We have a partnership with a company called Lightstream that actually lets you start adding overlays and doing some extra stuff on top of your broadcast. But you don't have to jump right to that, right? We tell people just have fun and do it and share and take the first step. And my understanding from talking with many of our partners is it's a lot of work to go make this even a side job, much less your whole job. But it's a lot of fun to get started and start building connections with people who are watching you. Tell your friends, hey, come check me out.
Yep.
You don't have to jump right into, hey, I want to have a huge audience. You can have a lot of fun with it, even as just I'm sharing with a few people.
Yeah. Awesome.
That's awesome. There was a question in the chat
Oh, yeah.
that I wanted to address. Someone was asking about what are the challenges of being a female streamer or a female person in the industry, in your opinion? Some of the challenges you see with the partners you work with, but throughout your career as well.
It's I would say I'm very fortunate. I've never actually had personally any challenges. Kind of going back to actually think I get a lot of extra credit, maybe even for being an avid gamer who is also female. But I've seen challenges that people have had, and I think the one that comes through the most is just when someone's streaming or even playing online, if they get any kind of toxic behavior, people harassing or just making inappropriate comments. And there's a lot of things we do from a tool perspective. Having great relationship with your moderators obviously is super important to help with that. But it is tough, right? It is something that you wanna make sure that you're true to yourself and you rely on the moderators, rely on tools to help make sure that that's not a challenge. But I feel very lucky. I've never had any challenges like that personally.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. That's great.
And what I do love, actually, there's a couple of Mixer partners. Queen Eliminator is the one that comes to mind of just, she is an amazing player. And it's so fun to watch her. I mean, she's entertaining and fun to watch her stream, but she's also amazing just to watch how she plays and how good she is at it, how much you can learn from watching her. And I think that's a lot of fun of just watching people that you look up to and aspire to.
Yep.
That's very cool. And I do have to say on a personal note, playing around with a few different streaming platforms, I've just been so impressed with Mixer and how, as you said before, like how positive and how inclusive and excited they are for new people to come in. And I've had a lot less issues streaming and like being in chat on Mixer than I have on any other streams. Like the platform you've created is a really good place for people who are looking for a little bit more of an inclusive, welcoming spot.
And that is, I mean, to all of y'all watching and everybody else on Mixer, like that's all you, right? It is you all that are making it a welcoming, positive place and encouraging each other and helping us keep Mixer what it is. And it's something I'll say from the marketing perspective, I just feel super fortunate to get to work with this community and get to help grow it and introduce new people. But it is all of what you all do every day of being an active member of the community.
Do you think that marketing has a big impact on that too, or is it more about enhancing like the amazing things that the community does and the amazing people that are part of the community?
I think actually from a marketing perspective, we learn a ton from our community, and it's less about maybe what we proactively do and more about the fun things we find out that are going on, and we're like, hey, how do we help amplify that? How do we help make sure people know and can participate? How do we create events or opportunities or online things that people can come together? But yeah, I will say I cannot take any credit for the amazing community that is Mixer. It is more something of we try to help share that out and make sure other people know.
What are some things that you're excited about, like for the future of Mixer?
Ooh.
I will keep asking the question for the people at home who are watching us.
What am I
Looking forward to
And
the answer being
service.
redacted.
I know. I'm like, it's funny. I give other people a hard time about you're not allowed to say anything. So much. I mean, I guess most of y'all probably know we started actually in early November with what we call Mixer Season 2, and it was something. It was really intentional. This idea of it being a season, because what we wanted to say is, hey, we've been about a year and a half on Mixer. We've had so much fun. We've learned a lot, and now we want to try some new things. But it's not like a launch. It wasn't a one-day moment in time. It was really this idea of there's a bunch of new things we want to try. We're going to bring them out over time. We're going to see what the community thinks and add to it in this idea of a season. And so with Season 2, we launched skills where you can use your sparks, and you can now use embers to launch different skills and hopefully make it more fun and participatory for viewers and streamers alike to feel like, hey, there's something we're creating together. And then the other part of Season 2 that we talked about at the announcement, we haven't totally come through with that, so I would say there's more in store, is progression. And the idea of you have an experience on Mixer that comes together over time, and the more that you're in a channel and interacting with the community and the streamer, the more call it things that you can do in that channel or recognition you should have in that channel. And so that's something that we are still working on as part of Season 2.
That's really
Very
cool.
cool.
Because there's always two sides, I guess, to streaming, because you want to do things for the streamers, and then you want to do things for the audience and the communities of those streamers. So it must be really interesting to think about, like, what are some features and things you can bring for both of those, right?
Yeah, and for Mixer in particular, I'd say we really care about that connection and that idea of the streamer and the viewers being able to have a conversation together. It started from the faster than light technology that was one of the things from the very early days of Beam that helped us stand out. And it continues with things like Season 2 and skills, where the viewers are shaping the experience. It's not, a Mixer is never a one-way experience. It is actually a community coming together and having a very rich, interactive conversation.
We do have another question in the chat, and it kind of goes to one of our previous points of, is there anything that Mixer is doing when it comes to female streamers, and I would say any streamers experiencing any forms of harassment? What are some tools and things that you currently have or that you're thinking about to address that?
Yeah, I'd say the most immediately impactful, actually, we have a tool called CatBot, and as the streamer, you can set CatBot different levels of, I'll call it security. Yep. So, high security says, hey, I actually don't want to tolerate any of this type of speech or phrases or words. CatBot works in multiple languages as well, so if you're streaming in English or not streaming in English, it works. You could choose to set it medium and low if your particular stream and community is more, I'll say, accepting maybe of things like profanity community are less accepting. So that is just, I'll say, table stakes. So everybody who is streaming, you should definitely take advantage of Catbot and think about that. And then I will say, moderators are the unsung heroes of the community. They are the ones that actually support Mixer as a whole, and certainly support each streamer of understanding what is right for that streamer and how do they help make sure that the commentary in the community fits with what that streamer's brand and personality and the community's desires are. And so moderators are someone we listen to a lot for feedback of like, hey, what can we do to help make your job easier, give you more tools. And so that's something we take very seriously and are continuing to talk about. I don't have anything to announce, but it's something that we really, really care deeply about.
Very cool. Cool. So you've put in a lot of time with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, as you've said, and you've completed the story. Now you're just achievement hunting and finishing up some of the other storylines.
Yes.
What is your next game once you've gotten all the achievements? What are you looking forward to? Are there any that are coming out this year that you can't wait for?
That is an interesting question. What am I most excited about? Probably, like, in terms of that hasn't released yet, Anthem is probably the title I'm most excited about. I intentionally didn't play any betas. I didn't watch any trailers. I wanted to have no pre-Anthem experience because I just I was so excited when I saw the announcement at E3 before, and like I went from that to like I want to play the game, and I don't want anything in between.
Oh, that's cool.
So that one I'm super excited about. And then I played a ton of Titanfall and Titanfall 2, and so I'm excited to play Apex Legends. I have not yet played because I've been spending.
Good.
I have heard it's so much fun.
It's like, honestly, the best way I found to describe how I felt after playing a bunch of matches is very much like an Overwatch BR, which is something that I really wanted, but I never knew I wanted. Just because you have all the different characters, different powers, and how you work together as a team of 3. No matter what, it's a team of 3, which I honestly like. People have been asking for solo queues and like squads of 4. But I'm like, I actually think that's the essence of the game. Just you have to be in a squad of 3, and that's it.
And you have that teamwork and that,
And it's really, really fun. They have this amazing like new pin system where even if you pair up with people that you don't know and you don't feel comfortable enough using your mic or talking online, you can very easily communicate what's going on in the game. Like you can spot enemies, you can spot weapons and loot that you can find, so your team knows it's there, even without you having said a word.
That's cool.
It's
I
really,
didn't know
really
that. That's really cool.
And even in terms of accessibility, for people who can't actually like talk or anything at all, it's a system that really works and just makes the game way more accessible. So it's a lot of fun. Also, I think I have been missing. You remember when you used to play, or we used to play online before parties and Discord and voice channels and anything out there where we just are restricted to our friends?
Like a little LAN party?
Yeah. Usually like you played Halo 2 and you would go into the game and you are prone to hear whatever you say, whatever people say. But it brought so many good things. Like that's how you kind of met people online, and you had really good, funny stories and funny experiences with just like randomly meeting people online, talking to them, people all over the world. And I think that's been lost over time. And that was like a magic point of playing like multiplayer and online. And so Apex is kind of bringing that back because you're forced, like even if you're by yourself, your friends are not online, you're forced to play with other 2 people. And you really want to win because it's a competitive game. So if you actually jump into your mic and talk to them and actually communicate, that will make the experience so much better. And so I think everyone is now getting the same feeling of, hey, I'm meeting all of these awesome people online and now we're becoming friends. There have been so many stories online of like, hey, I just met like a new group of friends because we paired up and we just got along super well and it was super fun to play with them. So a lot of new friendships are being formed over the game.
Oh, yay.
Yeah, it's really cool. So yes, if you haven't tried, this was a very long like.
That's great. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah, exactly.
Definitely play it. It's a lot of fun.
And is I get the impression too, it's really fast gameplay.
It is.
So much in the Titanfall feeling of just like there's a lot happening. That I love too, because it just, I don't know, that frenetic energy I love.
Yep. And actually, that's one thing. I was not a huge fan of the VR games. Just because it was the whole thing of like 10 minutes walking around, collecting loot. I see no one, and then all of a sudden someone kills me from behind, and like, okay, then I have to restart the whole thing. It wasn't super rewarding to me. Apex somehow addressed all of those issues I had with the BR genre. I can say this word.
Genre, yeah.
Thank you. It's just fun. Like you land, your team all lands in the same place. You just go and you find stuff, but the map is smaller, so you always have action going on, and it's just it's really
Nice.
cool. It's really, really cool.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
All right, that's what I will be. I need to convince. So my boyfriend and I played a ton of Titanfall and a ton of Borderlands together, but he has not yet played Apex, and so I'm like, okay, as soon as I'm done with my achievements, we're gonna go check this out. So
Borderlands is really fun too.
yeah, I know Borderlands, especially Borderlands 2. I think
Two,
was my
yeah.
absolute favorite.
I did everything in that game.
We played. I seriously think we played through the campaign 3 times
Yep.
because we
Oh my
just
gosh.
really, really loved it, and it was such a great co-op experience.
It is.
There's very few games that at least I have experienced where I really want to play with someone else. I do a lot of the more single-player open world exploration, and Borderlands, you got the best of that. You got co-op
Absolutely.
and exploration and loot. Oh,
Yep.
it was so good.
Yeah, it's very much the perfect co-op game. I think it's
Yeah.
my favorite co-op experience that
Yeah.
I've had in my life.
I think so
with
too.
Borderlands 2. I played with 3 other people, and it was very addicting. But we got everything. Like we defeated the big worm that's really hard, and you
Oh,
have
yeah.
that one.
Did
yeah,
you play
it
the
was a lot
one?
of fun.
I think it was the pre-sequel or
Pre-sequel,
something.
yes,
yeah, where
I
they reversed the gravity
Yep.
a little bit, or like
Yeah.
they reduced the gravity, I guess, and so like you were jumping all around and stuff. That was
there's
kinda
a few
fun too.
not planets, but like areas where they do that. But
Yeah.
I did finish it. Beginning of last week? I played with 2 other friends, and I did the whole game.
Oh, okay.
Wasn't as good as Borderlands 2, but
No,
still
yeah,
a lot
Borderlands
of
2
fun.
is the best.
Yeah. I really want Borderlands 3.
I know, I do too. I actually more
coming?
Borderlands anything.
Yeah.
I want. Yes.
Did you guys play the Telltale game for
I
Borderlands?
played a little bit of it, not
okay,
a lot.
you have
but
to
it's
because it
fun.
was absolutely my favorite one.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna
It's
be like,
really
I
good.
love it's super witty.
Yeah.
It's like yeah.
It's
a lot of fun.
the humor in that game was just like it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta check it out. I think I own it. I don't think I've played.
Definitely play it. I don't remember it's like super long.
I mean, if it's a Telltale game, probably not. Super
Yeah, it's like 5 episodes, like 1 hour
Yeah.
something each, I would say. Yeah.
Cool. All right, I'll
was-
check it out.
Yep. My favorite Telltale game.
So about how many more achievements do you think you have to go? Like how you're telling your boyfriend we'll play
Yeah.
once I'm done. How long does he have to wait?
Oh, I can't tell him that. I think I have like maybe 6 or 8 achievements in the main game.
Oh.
So there's one where you have to like do 20 side quests on these certain islands, and the problem is I don't actually know how many I've done, so I will just do them
Ouch.
until.
Keep doing them until you
Yeah.
get it. Yep.
And then there's one where like it should be pretty easy. You have to use your overpower ability with every weapon type. So I think that one I can just go do. What else is there? And then there's a few that are story based. So like the fun part about Odyssey is it's all the Greek people of legend, right? So Socrates is in there. So there's all the like the
cool.
gods, but there's also just the actual people. And so I think there's a Socrates like storyline that I need to finish. There's one that's like
So neat.
Daughters of Atlantis, and Daughters of, I can't remember actually what it's phrased, but anyway, you have to go out and hunt all these legendary beasts, and that's the one I've been saving for the end because I don't do well with the beasts for whatever reason.
And you said there was DLC to this game already?
Yeah, there's a bunch of
Okay.
DLC. Yeah.
Oh, a bunch. Okay.
Yeah, so that one, there's a bunch of free DLC actually. So a lot of storylines they have added, and then there's I think 2 really big sections that come with the season pass, and so I haven't bought that yet. But
Okay.
I think what I'll do is I'll finish the main game, and then I'll maybe play some Apex, and then I'll
You
come
should.
back. Yeah, I think that
Smart.
will be good for my relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's been a lot of assassins. Let's see, where am I gonna go? But you guys can tell, I love it. It's just
I mean,
such a fun game.
I seriously want to just go home and
Yeah,
play
I really want to
It's-
play it. It's always been
Yeah.
on the back of my mind, but because of the huge backlog I have, I'm always like, do I really need to buy
I
it?
know, I'm trying to like finish some of
I
those
know.
before I
Metro just
maybe.
came out. Like, there's so many games coming out too, which is just very overwhelming to
yeah.
keep track of.
That's
this
the
month
best
in
though,
particular.
right? Yeah, that this time of year actually, I love this and Christmas holiday time frame where there's just so many games to choose from.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to go sink this Athenian ship.
What are we doing here?
We're
are
gonna-
you actually driving?
Yeah, I'm driving the ship or I'm rowing, and I'm gonna try to go sink these guys so I can get some supplies.
Oh, they're
Oh my
like,
goodness.
wow.
Yeah, there's ship
Oh,
battles.
well.
There's all kinds of stuff.
You're not doing so hot right now.
No, because I'm really powerful. I've upgraded my ship to
you
like
have.
Yeah,
the
we can,
max.
we can see that. That one is totally burning.
So it's fun. You know that feeling at the end of the game where like you have unlocked literally everything and you're just
You're
super
just-
powerful?
yep.
That's where I am now. It's pretty cool.
It's a good place to be.
So we're gonna go jump on this ship and steal all their stuff.
Oh my gosh, you're actually gonna board it?
Oh yeah.
Can you do that? Wow.
So the guys with the like yellow crown over their head or whatever, they're the more powerful enemies. But
Huh.
Oh,
Well,
well,
there you went.
I'm off the boat. That's all you have to do.
Yeah, that looked easy enough. So you win what? Treasure? What?
yeah,
I
you
would
get
do-
it's mostly like armor and then also supplies. So you need all the ooh, that guy's got an area of effect.
Everything you have is on fire. Like your horse is on
Yeah.
fire. Your sword is on fire.
My so this weapon or whatever, like you can actually maybe I can show you. So when you go to your different weapons, you can engrave them with different abilities. So if
Oh.
you look at my
cool.
sword actually, see if I can get there. So you can see over on the effect, I have a special
see.
ability where weapon damage becomes fire damage. So everything that I do
And you have all these advantages to fire damage.
yes, I have all those things. So that's why there's a lot of fire.
Okay, I see.
Wow.
You like fire.
I just find it's really effective. It
It usually is.
I mean, yeah. Fire
Like
hurts.
honestly, even when there's like games with spells and everything, I just end up using fire all the time. Like I'm thinking back on The Witcher 3. I always
oh
use
yeah.
the burn, whatever they called it. Kingdom Hearts, I do the same. I use
Oh
the
yeah.
fire.
It's
Yeah,
fire.
like
yeah, fire is
I don't
just
know why.
really good.
I think we can go to our segments, our snap
Yeah.
segments.
Speaking of
Um,
things on fire,
I know,
talk about
right?
stuff. Women on fire.
So again, I'll just recap. Our Snap segment is about giving a shout out to people who are giving. They're not giving anything. They're doing amazing things on our
Achievements.
achievements. They are achieving a lot
There you go.
in our gaming industry. So Tara, do you want to
Yeah. So
snaps?
yeah. So this week we want to talk about Cecilia, and I'm probably going to butcher the name because we've seen it written, but not out loud. D'Anastasio won the Writers Guild Award for her expose on the Riot Games sexual harassment culture. And I haven't read her expose. I need to go look it up. But it's so cool that people are starting to be recognized for actually, going public with some of this information and, writing these thoughtful pieces about, bad things happening, sexual harassment culture in the games industry. And I think it's something that for years we've been dealing with people trying to go public and share that information. I know, there's been a lot of talk before about how a lot of people will kind of have these smaller communities where they'll share information because the gaming community is pretty small. And if there's someone that's sketchy, like we'll let each other know. But being able to actually have people post these articles and say these things about the industry and how it needs to change and then be recognized for it, I think it's encouraging more people to come forward and do that.
Yeah, and I mean,
really
for
like
her to write that piece, I think it validated a lot of people's experiences. And I think the most important thing is that having it out there, I think it created a lot of good conversations around the gaming industry. Everyone could
Definitely.
talk about it, could share their experience, could feel just like we were moving forward to make our industry an amazing place that we all know it is. Like we're super passionate about what we do, and we work with some amazing, incredible people. So it's just good to start having those conversations that I think this piece actually enabled a lot of that.
Yeah.
So it was great to see it recognized. So snaps for Cecilia. And you do have a emoticon for snaps on the chat.
show
so
us
you
your
can do
snap
snaps with
emotes.
us. And then we also have our one-ups and game overs segments. So one up is a really good thing that happened in the gaming industry in the since our last episode, and game overs are not so good things that happen. But we do want to have these conversations between us and obviously the chat. So make sure that you are dropping any questions or comments about what we're talking about here. We'll start with the game overs. So there was a lot of talk about this in the last 2 weeks about the Activision Blizzard layoffs, which was, I believe, over 800 people that were laid off, which is a really, really big number. So on one side, it's terrible that that happened. There's a lot of really good professionals and people who are really good at their jobs and more than that they were working their dream jobs. So you can imagine how devastating that must be, who lost their jobs. But then there's also a good side to this. And Tara, you were talking about it before. So
that what we saw here and what we've seen a lot with different layoffs from a lot of smaller companies in the past year or two is that the gaming community just comes together to support those who are laid off, and that so many people were sharing open jobs in their communities. I know a lot of people from Xbox and Mixer were doing the same, and encouraging people to, continue to reach out and continue to find their dream job. And there were people sharing each other's resumes and kind of uplifting those who were laid off, which I just think is amazing, and it shows how great this community is. The tough thing with the layoffs is this is one of the first times that I remember where most of the layoffs were in like the marketing and the esports and kind of those ranges instead of the developers themselves. And that kind of, as a marketing and event person, took a little shock to me, saying, hey, we're not safe either. And it's also really interesting to see what that means for the priorities for Activision and Blizzard. Are they taking a step back from esports? Are they just, downsizing a little bit? But it also helped me really see, hey, to the guy who asked you, are you a gamer or a marketer? You can be both. And just because I'm marketing the game and not creating the game doesn't mean that I'm not a part of the game industry and not a part of making that game be successful. So here's hoping that all of those folks can find something new and amazing in a different company is the word I was looking for.
And Tara, I think your point too about the gaming community coming together and people posting jobs and saying like, hey, we're hiring, or I know someone I can introduce you to. One of the things I really do love about the industry is how much you cross paths with people over years, right? And we often talk about E3 as like a reunion in a lot of ways, because you'll see people that you worked with 5 years ago, 3 years ago, 10 years ago at different companies. And it's something that I think is very special and unique about the gaming industry, that we have this shared passion, and we also have it's a relatively small place that you tend to see people as they move through their careers. And so one of the things I always tell people is like, don't always like value the relationships you've built and the people that are very talented and that you can trust, because one day you will be looking for that talent, or you will have the opportunity to connect someone who's looking for that talent. And I just think it's something special about our industry.
Yeah. And it's that same kind of thing with, if you look at the different companies and the kind of like fake rivalries that happen, or even things with like the console wars, PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo. I mean, half the people I know have worked at least two of those companies, if not all three. Yeah. Like people are always moving around and the community is really small. So yeah, keeping in touch with people, not burning bridges when you can, become very helpful when unexpected things like this happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's about we're all gamers and we all share that passion.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think the gaming industry is really special just because we end up working on something that is our hobby as well, which not many, like a lawyer, I mean, in their free time, do they lawyer? I don't think so. Maybe they do.
Although some lawyers work in the gaming industry.
I
mean, that is the way to do it, yeah.
But so it's I think it's really special, and that brings something really special in people that work in our industry that I think was very clear during this entire process. So my timeline for a week was full of people just offering support. And it wasn't only like, hey, my team is hiring, so make sure you check the website. It wasn't only that. It was, hey, my team is hiring and check this website, but all of these other people are also posting this, so make sure you check them out. And more than that, if you feel like you need emotional support, you want someone to talk to, I'm also here.
That's awesome.
That was really, really special to see how everyone can come together. And in the end, even with all those rivalries that you mentioned, we're all in this together, and we just want like to make the best out of people, to make the best out of our lives and our careers.
Yeah.
And just work in something that we deeply care about.
Mhm.
So it was really special. Again, we do hope that everyone ends up having
Yeah.
a good job. And again, there's a lot of helpful resources, especially on Twitter. That's where I saw people just offering to help. So make sure you reach out if you're in that position.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was one thing. We do have another one big one up. I don't know if you had the opportunity to see or anyone at home had the opportunity to see, but Bonnie Ross received the Hall of Fame award at the DICE conference this week. Last week.
Yeah.
Last week. I tuned in and it was tragic because I was like, okay, tragic is probably the wrong.
It's like, what happened?
I thought it was actually it was tragic because I was in my couch watching the entire conference and it was like Phil went in and did an amazing intro for Bonnie and there was this video about her life and her entire career and then her acceptance speech and I was just bawling. It was really emotional just
Very
because.
moving.
Yeah, it was the words like everything was really, really powerful, empowering, and it was amazing to see someone like Bonnie, who had such an impact in our industry, just be there and be recognized for all her contributes. She's a huge role model for me, and so it was just very, very special to see her recognized. Yeah. So that's where the tragic part came out. Like it wasn't a really nice picture.
Maybe emotional, not tragic.
Yeah, no.
In a good way.
So did you get a chance to?
I didn't
Yeah.
see it, no. But I mean, that's amazing, and I'm thrilled that she was honored
Yep.
in that way.
Okay, I think that is all for us right now. Unless someone no, I think that's all for us. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of our monthly. We're not sure if we're doing monthly or bi-monthly. We'll see how everything goes because we do have an upcoming event coming up. So every year at GDC, the Game Developers Conference in San Francisco, our Women in Gaming group does a rally there. Last year, we had over 800 attendees for our full day of talks, panels, and everything, networking opportunities. This year, we'll be doing the rally again, so a lot of us will be there. We'd love, if you have the chance to obviously go, we'd love to have you there, chat, and meet. This year, it won't be a full day of event, but still very much worth it. Our panel there will be amazing, and you'll be able to network with a lot of us. So I'm not sure what will happen with the episode that's probably falling in that week. So we'll see. But thank you so much for tuning in on the episode today. Make sure you follow our Mixer channel to get notifications for the next time we're going to be live. And also one thing that we really love to do is that before we leave, we love to showcase some female streamer on the Mixer platform. So for today, we have a special one. Go check Moonlight Wolf. So her channel is Mixer. Oh, you know her. Do you want to say something?
Well, no, that's okay. You're doing a great job. But I'm a fan.
Yeah. So if you go to mixer.com/MoonlightWolf, she'll be there. She'll be streaming. We're gonna be hosting her. Check her out.
And that's Moon Lite.
Yes, and Wolf with an E in the end. So there's
Can we? I think some people are posting it in chat.
Okay, perfect.
Oh, and it's up on the screen now. Okay,
Oh,
perfect.
Thank you. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for having us, and we'll hope to see you on the next episode. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Yes! Whoa! Hey! Hey! Hey, you guys! You saw that, right? Anybody?